Hi, Red Knights. We are back with our new anchor text called Protecting Our Parks. The genre of this text is an argumentative text. That means that in this passage, we are going to hear different opinions to support an argument. Since the title of this text is called Protecting Our Parks, I can infer that we're going to hear different arguments and opinions about protecting national parks. Our essential question is, how do landmarks help us understand our country's story? Read two different arguments about protecting our national parks and monuments.
Let's begin by listening to the summary, first in English, then in Spanish, so that we can get our brains thinking about the text.
Protecting our parks. This argumentative text gives facts and opinions about protecting national parks and monuments. Millions of people enjoy visiting national parks and landmarks each year, but too many visitors can damage these special places. The text presents two arguments for fixing this problem. One suggests more rules, fixing damage, and building restaurants and bathrooms. This way, more people can visit each day. The other argument states that more buildings and more visitors could harm wildlife. It would be better to allow fewer visitors. These two arguments offer different viewpoints, but both present solutions that make parks and monuments more enjoyable for visitors.
Protegiendo nuestros parques. Este texto argumentativo proporciona datos y opiniones sobre cómo proteger los parques y monumentos nacionales. Millones de personas disfrutan visitando parques y monumentos históricos todos los años, pero demasiados visitantes pueden dañar estos lugares especiales. El texto presenta dos argumentos para resolver el problema. Uno sugiere más regulaciones, reparar los daños y construir restaurantes y baños. De esta forma, más gente podrá visitar estos lugares diariamente. El otro argumento afirma que más edificios y más visitantes pueden dañar la vida silvestre. Sería mejor reducir el número de visitantes. Estos dos argumentos ofrecen diferentes perspectivas, pero ambos proponen soluciones para que los visitantes disfruten más de los parques y monumentos.
Let's get started by listening to the first page being read.
In 1872, Yellowstone National Park became America's first national park. This happened thanks to a group of explorers who saw how beautiful the land was. They wanted to protect it, so they went to Washington, D.C. to write a law to protect nature. This grand act helped to create many more parks. The National Park Service was started in 1916. It takes care of parks and national monuments in the United States. Many parks contain the last traces of some plants and animals. Protecting these lands is an important job.
Why did the National Park Service begin? Down here, it says in our text that many parks contain the last traces of some plants and animals. Protecting these lands is an important job. This tells me that there are precious living things in these parks that they need to work extra hard to preserve so that they stay safe and they don't go away forever. Let's continue reading.
Too many visitors. The Park Service must protect a massive amount of land. No one knew that millions of people would want to visit. There were no clues. Now, more than 275 million visitors come to the parks and monuments each year. The Park Service wants people to visit, but overcrowding or too many people can create problems. There are often long waits to enter a park. too many cars pollute the air. People drop litter on the hiking trails. Some people have even carved their names into cliffs. This makes the parks less enjoyable to visit. People who work at the parks and landmarks are looking for new ways to control crowds. Other people disagree about what should be done.
What kinds of problems can overcrowding at parks cause? Here, it talks about how people are dropping garbage and the cars create pollution, and people are even hurting parts of the land by carving their names into things. So, people can have a harmful impact on the land.
Point, counterpoint. Allow all access. The National Park Service thinks that people should be able to visit America's parks and landmarks. Their mission is to protect land so that it can be enjoyed by everyone. They want families to hike the trails, observe the animals, and learn about our country's history. But visitors need bathrooms, parking lots, and places to eat. The Park Service can make changes. They can create rules to handle crowds. They could spend money to fix damage to the parks. They could build more parking lots, restaurants, and bathrooms. Map: Yellowstone National Park. Map labels: Grand Geyser, Castle Geyser, Geyser Hill, Old Faithful Geyser, Visitor Center. Key: Geyser, food service, picnic area, gas station, ranger station, hiking trail. Caption: In addition to places to eat and rest, Yellowstone National Park also has shops, museums, and cabins.
What is the main idea of this section with the heading titled Allow All Access? Well, the main idea is that the National Park Service must protect the parks but still let visitors enjoy them. I can tell that this is the main idea because throughout this section of the text, there are details to help support that main idea. Some details are when it talks about families wanting to hike, observe animals, and learn about history. This means that they need to allow people to come in to do those things. It also says that the National Park Service can create rules to handle these large crowds. They could also spend money to fix damage and build more parking lots.
Counterpoint point: Protect our parks. Overcrowding is a problem at national parks. It can lead to pollution, litter, and noise. Many people think that national parks should be kept natural. They suggest only letting a certain number of people visit each day. They think that adding more parking lots and bathrooms will harm the plants and animals. A path forward. America's national park system was not built to handle millions of visitors. If changes aren't made, overcrowding could damage the land and harm plants and animals. Everyone should have the chance to enjoy nature. Sidebar: A meaningful symbol. Each element of the National Park Service's symbol represents something that the agency protects. The bison represents wildlife. The tree represents plants. The mountain represents geology. The lake represents natural resources such as water and air. The arrowhead represents the history of our country.
Reading this text has helped me to understand the different claims that people might have about park visitors. The author gives facts that people use to support their opinions. For example, those who believe parks should be open to everyone say that parks can make changes to handle these extra visitors. Those who believe in limiting the amount of visitors say that changes like adding parking lots would hurt wildlife and could point to the fact that overcrowding leads to pollution. The author provided two sides of these claims. What are your thoughts about national parks? Should they limit the amount of people that come, or should they build more parking lots and risk pollution? All right, boys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed this text called Protecting Our Parks. Bye for now.